Well, good morning, Zen friends. I hope that you are well today, wherever in the world you happen to be. And I'm wondering how you did with the 7 day challenge last week. I wonder if you were able to practice every day and how that practice was for you. Today, I want to talk about some of the things that may have come up during your practice time, and that would be distractions. Oh my gosh, distractions happen all the time. Our minds are constantly distracted. You know, um, I'm meditating this morning and I'm thinking about this video. I'm out on a run and I'm thinking about coming home and throwing laundry in. I'm sitting at my computer and I'm thinking about something else. So we are constantly in a situation or in situations where our mind is someplace else. So we are rarely ever just present in the moment. And so when we sit on our cushions, because we're human beings and we do think, our mind goes in different directions. And that is one of the distractions that we have, and that is thoughts. And last week I talked a little bit about how to deal with those thoughts during meditation. And I'm wondering how that was for you. How easy was it to push those thoughts away? Sometimes I have times on the cushion where I have thoughts, all the time, right? And I'm able to push those thoughts away easier than at other times. And in Zen, we have a saying. I don't think we coined the saying at all, but the saying is no big deal. And that's kind of how I want us to learn to deal with some of these distractions. So let me get into the whole distractions point. I think I have a list here, and it's a list of 5, I think. And these are, everyday things that happen. We go to sit down on our cushion and these things come upon us, and it's how we handle these things that enhance our practice and then enable us to continue to practice. So the first thing, I think this may be, I'm going to say 2 at once because they're really kind of the same category, and it's pets and kids. So pets and kids are huge distractions to our meditation life. I can remember when my kids were small, they could be watching television or, working on something, playing in their rooms, and the minute I sat down on my cushion, they were, Mom, hey mom, I need you. Hey mom, can I have a snack? Mom, and it's frustrating. It can be really frustrating. Same with pets. I've had both dogs and cats in my life. I have a dog now. His name is Buddy. He's a boxer. And out of all my pets, I have to say Buddy, excuse me, is the best when I'm meditating. But I've had other pets where I've had cats that, honest to God, would leave me alone any other time, but the minute I sat down on that cushion, they were climbing all over me and, wanting attention, and it was a distraction. So, what do we do about that? Well, there are a couple of suggestions that I have, things that have worked for me in very varying degrees of success over the years. The first is, but they all kind of go back to this idea of no big deal. So you get ready to sit, and the baby wakes up. No big deal. Go get the baby. Either bring the baby back with you and sit with the baby, just hold the baby while you sit, or sit at a different time. Your kids come and they're, jumping around next to you. Excuse me again. Remnants of the cold from last week. When my kids were little, what I did was I was really blessed to be able to have a separate room to practice in. Now, it really doesn't matter though, whether it's a separate room or whether you're in your living room or wherever you are. I set up space for them to be able to come and sit with me. Or they could sit quietly in the room with me. They could sit, we had I think it was a futon actually. They could sit on the futon and read books, but they could not, they were not allowed to pester me. So, sometimes they would wander in and sit down with me for a second or two. Sometimes they would come in and grab a book from the basket and sit on the futon for a little while. And that seemed to really work. And I talked to them about that, mommy was going to go and meditate, that this was my quiet time, that I need them to be respectful of that. And, to varying degrees of success, it worked. It worked for us. As far as the pets go, I have had situations where I have shut the cats out of the room and then they were scratching at the door. Same with the dogs. So the cats I just sort of ignored. Or I would reach out every now and again and just, gently stroke one of them. The dogs I found really did settle after a few minutes, and I just sort of ignored that too. Excuse me, I'm going to cough again. Buddy now will come up and sit like right behind me, so his back is touching my back, and just sit there while I'm sitting. So those are things that you can do. The other thing is that, try to let them out before you sit, make sure they're fed and have water and all that stuff. But being able to meditate with those kinds of distractions going on around you is just like sitting there and meditating while traffic is going by or there are kids outside playing or anything else. So we just have to learn to work with that, to go with the flow. No big deal. I talked about our thoughts, which are just things that come and go. And that's exactly what we want them to do. We want them to come and to go. Just while you're in that, while you're meditating, while you're sitting quietly, focusing on your breathing can bring you back to the present. Sometimes I have a keyword that I say, and it's now. In my head, when I catch myself thinking, I'll think now. And that brings me back to the present. You can focus on an object. Sometimes I have a statue of Kuan Yin. She's sitting on a turtle. And sometimes I'll just focus on the turtle for a minute until I can get my thoughts back, till I can get myself back into the now again. Let me see. Oh, time. Time is the big one. We think that, I don't have time. I don't have time to meditate. Or we're sitting on the cushion and we're thinking, gotta go. Hope this 20 minutes is up soon because I got things to do. Again, this goes back to no big deal. If there's something that's really pressing, then do what's really pressing and come back to the cushion. And I would venture to say, if we make time to meditate early in the morning, when we get up, and my habit is to wake up, brush my teeth, do what I have to do in the bathroom, go out and make my coffee, and come back into my bedroom where my cushion is and sit. It kind of is becoming habit for me to do it this way, because I know that if I do it right away, that I'm done with the rest of my, then I'm done and I go about the rest of my day until my evening sitting time. But that has to be a personal choice. But whatever you do, just make the time for it, and don't let that nagging, oh, I don't have time, I can't do it because I don't have time, get in the way. That's a distraction. The last thing that I will say is the phone, and most of us now have cell phones, and texts, those messages coming through. Now I'm saying this because I use a timer on my phone. I set my timer for 20 minutes. And I don't know how to turn those other notifications off while I have my timer still on. So those notifications will still come in. And so sometimes I'll hear a text come in. And especially if I hear a text come in with the tone of one of my adult children, I'm thinking, I wonder what that's about. And then I have to come back to now. So again, that becomes like the traffic that's going on outside, the kids that are playing outside, whatever else the noises are that are going around you. It just becomes one of the same things. So really, these things are no big deal. They're things that we can attend to later, and they are things that can interrupt our practice momentarily, but if we bring ourselves back to the now, we should be able to move through. So I'm wondering how you did with the 5-minute challenge. I'm going to set 2 new challenges for this week. I know. But don't be scared, okay? So the first challenge is I want you to try to meditate for the next 7 days. I want you to try to go to 10 minutes or 15 even. But if you can do 10, that would be great. And then the second practice, and this is something that was in a book that I read, and I cannot remember who the person was. I have to start writing my authors down. But anyway, it's a practice about staying present. So, okay, great. So we go in and we sit on our cushion and, we're present for the time that we're in there, right? And then we kind of go along with the rest of our day. And this is an exercise to get you to notice how much of the time we're elsewhere. We're not present. So I want you to pick an activity that you do every day. So brushing your teeth, washing the dishes. For me, it's making the coffee. So I get up in the morning, and every morning I do the same thing. I wake up in the morning and I put the water on to boil. I put the coffee in the French press, and I get ready to make the coffee. I want you to pick whatever it is, whatever activity it is. And brushing your teeth is a good one. Everybody brushes their teeth, God willing. So before you pick up your toothbrush to put the toothpaste on it, I want you to stand at the sink and breathe 5 times. Stay in the present moment. This brings us back into the present moment. So it's an interruption in what we normally are doing. Normally we would mindlessly pick up the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on, brush our teeth while we're thinking about what outfit we're going to put on for work, or, the grocery list that we need to make, or whatever it is that we need to do next. And what this activity does is stops us and brings us back into the present moment, which is what we want to do. Because think of your life, or think of us. We are a pot of water on a stove. Or actually, here's even a better example. I was thinking about this weekend because I made chili for my son. His birthday was over the weekend, but he had to work over all weekend. And I know that he loves chili. So I put a pot of chili on Sunday. So I made the chili and I, did the meat and, did the tomato sauce and all of that stuff. And I have it on the pot. And I walked away. And so the heat's on the pot boils, and the sauce boils over and makes a mess on the stove. And I thought, man, this is like life. Like, we are this tomato sauce, and the activities, the stuff that heats us up, that gets us into a reactive state, the things that bother us, the things that pull us off course, that's the heat. And sometimes we don't even realize that the heat is turned on. And then before long, we're boiling over and it's a mess. So meditation and being in the present moment is like turning that gas light off or taking the pot off the stove. It removes the heat, and it calms the brain right down. So this is what staying in the present moment does for us. So try this little exercise for the next 7 days. Pick an activity, whatever activity you want. I suggested brushing your teeth, making your coffee, whatever. And then before you get there, just stop and breathe 5 times. In and out, slowly, very consciously. Practice the breathing that we talked about in the last video. And then the other challenge I have for you is to keep your practice going for the next 7 days, and to see if you can get your minutes up from 5 to 10. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. You can also email me. My email address is littlezencrone@gmail.com. Pretty easy to remember. So until next week, I hope that you continue your practice. I hope that you'll comment below and let me know how you're doing. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.